Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome episode 2. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
We're going to talk about Matt Reeves, the Batman!
The Batman.
Baby!
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype over this Batman because, number one, we have a new Batman. Mm-hmm. When Ben Affleck overtook, what's his name, Christian Bale for Batman, a lot of people got worried. Mm-hmm. But when I heard that Robert Pattinson was going to take over as Batman, I was quite intrigued because I think that was the time I had just watched Tenet, and I was pleasantly surprised by his performance.
No, he's a great actor. Because after Twilight, he'd done a lot of independent movies.
Yeah.
One of the favorite is the one with him and William Dafoe. I forget the name. They go to this The Lighthouse. There we go. 2019 movie, I think. Black and white. That was awesome. But he killed it. And it's not just him. I gotta give Reeves a lot of credit because I think we talked about this privately, but I think his chin is just another character.
Oh yes.
And I think Ben Affleck had some of that too. But his chin, the way it's filmed, it just reminds me a lot of the animation days.
Being a Batman is quite tricky because you have to look good, but you also have to look good with the mask on because sometimes it doesn't look right. So I think Michael Keaton, of course, he looked great as Batman, and then Christian Bale, I think he was okay. Val Kilmer I think he was a very good Batman in that sense, and yeah, because we also grew up watching the animated version of the Batman. And I remember Batman having this very, very strong jaw.
Yeah, jawline. And then there's always that gargoyle statue, and he's just standing there with his eyes shown, and he comes from the dark, and you see his chin. And then I think this is definitely in line with that. Because you got to remember, Christian Bale's Batman was just in the daytime all the time. I came back for you. And then the fight with Bane is just in broad daylight. There's no sense of you're part of the shadow, whatever. But this one just definitely.
This is one thing I really liked about Matt Reeves' Batman because I saw in the trailer it seemed to be very, very dark. Not just the setting, but the entire the atmosphere or the mood of the whole scene. It felt very dark, not like a hero movie, but more like a thriller.
No, but you know what's the most evil character in this movie is, surprisingly? It's water. You know how the constant rain is it's deliberate, right? Because at night Gotham is always raining, and water is very you feel suppressed by it even.
Yeah, it feels very unpleasant.
But spoilers ahead, at the end, the most evil thing that happens is the water.
Yeah, that's right. It floods the city.
Exactly. So there was this there's this whole thematic buildup about how this city should be drowned in the Christian sense.
Yeah, the Noah's Ark.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny because Batman, surprisingly, the poster where Dark Knight Rises, where the bat shape is basically fire, right? Yeah. And in the third film in Nolan's trilogy, there's this theme that let the fire rise, and he's when Gary Oldman lights it up, it's the bat on fire, right? But there's this very similar element here where water is evil, but when Bat at that fucking awesome scene,
he fires up the flare, and then he leads these people to safety.
Yeah, there's this Christian theme going on where the light holder, in the sense of an Olympic runner is a hope thing. Yeah. So I was surprised by that because
guiding people in darkness.
Yeah. Yeah, because the flood thing was funny because I honestly thought it was gonna flood the whole fucking city, but I was just why are they getting cornered here? And then there was this realization that the water is just it's been building up. So that was interesting. Me saying this is, I think, how surprisingly thoughtful this movie is from start to finish.
Also in a thematic sense.
Exactly. And there's just so much attention to detail. Let's talk about the first scene first. First thing first, I thought it was I thought that kid was Bruce Wayne.
That first scene, when I first watched the first 3 minutes of the Batman, it reminded me of The Watchmen. It had a lot of that Watchmen vibe. Oh, exactly. There's a narration going on. Yeah. And then
that's straight from the comics.
Yeah,
right?
just like it feel like it just came out straight from the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked this. The one thing I liked about the intro was also when all these criminals, they're about to commit a crime and they get spooked by the bat logo, the bat sign in the sky, and that spooks them. And the narration says, "Fear is a powerful tool." And I think that set up Batman in a way that we expect Batman to be feared among criminals in the first intro. And the surprise came when one of those, like the Halloween guys, didn't recognize who he was. Like, who the fuck are you? And then later, it's very satisfying to see him get
two things from what you just said. Yeah, one is I like the details on the Halloween goons. Because I first, when I saw the trailer, I thought they were like Joker goons or something.
Yeah,
but they're not.
I think it's because of the face paint.
Yeah, but the beautiful detail that's not on the trailer is the guy with the half paint on, right? So he's kind of symbolizing that the city can still be saved, because this guy is obviously having a conscious moment here. Like his friends are saying, like, beat up that guy, but he doesn't want to, and then he sees Batman and fear wakes him up. But another reason why I wanted to talk about the opening scene where the Riddler is watching that senator's family is because it parallels what Batman does to Catwoman later. Because Batman is also doing that voyeuristic shit going on where, you know, we're watching it together.
Like sneaking in there like the creep.
And then me being a guy, of course, we're like, is Catwoman getting, like, you know, are we going to get that, you know, like bikini shot, whatever? But after that scene, I was just like creeped out a little, like where, wait a minute, yo, you're doing the same thing. You're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. And this also repeats throughout the movie. You know, we realize that Batman is keeping a journal of his observation of Gotham City.
Yeah.
But then we later realized that Riddler is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of these striking similarities between Batman and the Riddler.
You know what's creepy about, like, Batman's diary? Like, if I'm a psychiatrist and you come to my, like, and then you show me your diary and say, hey, I'm a nocturnal creature. I'm like, yo, get me out of here. This guy's crazy. Hey, but I'm going to jump ahead, but, like, after the movie was done, because we just watched Peacemaker, right?
Ah, that's right.
So, I'm going to sound like an asshole here, but I kind of got Riddler's point where I just thought, wait, isn't Riddler just the upgrade version of Batman? Because if you think about it, before Riddler, like, motivated him, Batman, all he was doing was beating up thugs. Like street gangs. That's like cops, like, you know how cops are saying, oh, we're not curing the war on drugs. But like Riddler's like, wait a minute, so what's the problem here? What is causing these thugs to come out? Oh wait, there's this power structure behind the city, and these
I'm gonna expose this.
Yeah, and they're actually the evil people. Let's assassinate them and then get this problem done with. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I'm not defending him, but isn't that like the logical conclusion that even Batman could make if he decides to, like, forego his, like, so to speak, line, right?
So I think this is something that Ben Affleck's Batman didn't have.
Oh, he crossed the line already, right?
Yeah, well, that too, and also in a thematic sense, it did not have this coherency of a theme throughout the Batman.
Right.
But this one is, I could instantly tell that it was going to be a different approach when I watched the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, but it was yes, but like I think Ben Affleck's was like he's like the Witcher, because you know Ben Affleck's Batman is basically, I'm so tired of this shit. Like, so like when he branded that guy, remember? He probably didn't even like feel joy or anger like Pattinson did. He's
this just needs to be done.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm so tired of this stuff. Hey, guys, don't do it, okay? And then you know what I mean? And then the way he chases Superman is the only time he feels alive. When he's fighting criminals, I just get this sense in Ben Affleck's it's just like, whatever, just shoot him in the knee. You're never gonna do it again.
This is, you know, like business as usual.
Yes, exactly.
And then where's Superman?
Yeah, just kneecap, like no conscience whatsoever, but like. But Pattinson's, like, I think you said it to me first, like, he's completely unhinged, isn't he?
Yeah. And this is one of the first Batman movies that really got me worried watching Batman. And when you see the fight with the thugs in the subway station, you could tell that although Batman as intimidating he is, he's not as overpowering as we had seen before.
Oh, you bring up
and we could tell that he's exposed to danger as well, and he's
vulnerable.
Yeah, he's sometimes getting lucky. He could die any instant. That's what I was thinking when I was watching it.
That's a good point. Not only that, but now that you bring that up, like this Batman gets lightened up. Mm-hmm. You know how many fucking like gunshot he gets on?
You know, one unlucky shot and the bullet hits his chin. I mean, he's dead.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me. Yeah. Like I mean, there's no graze in his beautiful chin whatsoever.
He's coming out of the dark. All his suit is completely, it's pitch black.
Yeah.
The only thing that is distinguishable is his chin.
Yeah.
So isn't it your natural instinct to aim for the chin?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, like, you bring up a good point where the clown boys, like why don't you got revolvers, boys? Just shoot him. Shoot him immediately. Here's a man who's dressed like a bat saying, stop it. And then this weird voice.
He didn't even say stop it. He was just approaching them. And the guy, I mean, although he pulled out a machete, I mean, I understand him. I empathize with him because I would be scared. I would, like, pull it out first. To let him know, don't fucking come close to me. And then he asked him a question, who the fuck are you? But I mean, he could have asked it a little nicer, but he still said it. It was a genuine question. It's like, who the fuck are you? Identify yourself. I'm scared to death. Like, who the fuck are you? Batman doesn't even answer him. He just beats the shit out of him.
No, he does answer.
I mean, and after that, he says, I'm vengeance.
Yeah. That's funny to me because, like, remember when Penguin said it too? Like, I think, like, the word Batman only came up like once, like when he was with,
he was known as Mr. Vengeance.
Yeah, Vengeance. Yeah, and before I watched the movie, you know, the difference between the other Batman is like Tim Burton's Batman. The villains were already like kind of crazy. Not the first one, but especially the second one. So Batman being Batman was okay. And I think the Christopher Nolan one kind of like toned it down a little, where like every outfit is not like exaggerated. But here, like after watching the movie, I could kind of tell that Batman was an upgrade to the crazy that was already going on. Because there were already criminals. You know, it's Halloween, sure, but like you're dressed up as clown and robbing people around. You got other guys with hoodies on. The Gotham Matt Reeves made kind of made me believe that, oh yeah, if someone wanted justice, they might as well could dress up like a bat. You know, the city was just so evil in a way, like so like. What does Riddler call it? Cesspool that we call a city, right?
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, it's definitely a cesspool. Like, why is the subway working?
Shithole.
Yeah, like it's like the same as Batman Begins, where like you look at the subway, it's like who's paying for this? Like you know, because that costs a lot of money to maintain, but it's still running on the city. But that was really interesting, and
since you mentioned Batman Begins, I think there's also similarities in its theme, because remember in Batman Begins, Ra's al Ghul, he was also trying to cleanse the city.
Yeah.
And then he hints that throughout history, him and his followers had been
Roman Empire,
cleansing
London,
all this what should we say, debauchery throughout history, and this time it's Gotham's turn. So in a sense, I think Riddler is going through a similar crusade.
Yeah, but the biggest difference is there's no ninja stuff here.
Yeah,
like because Batman Begins, like I think it's like a film trick. It's moving on so fast, and Liam Neeson is so awesome giving that speech. My wife died, revenge. That you don't get the time to think that. Wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you know, like he kind of charms the audience when he's training. What's his name? Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. But Pattinson,
skill is nothing.
Yeah.
Will is everything.
Yeah. Like for this Batman, it's obviously will is not enough because motherfuckers are shooting you.
That's right.
But like Pattinson here is like he's trained by Alfred or something, right? Because like, and then I like the detail of Alfred having a scar here.
Yeah. And in Christopher Nolan's Batman, Alfred is hinted to be also a badass when he mentions his missions in Burma. Back in the day, you can kind of tell that he was doing some like black ops shit.
Yeah, British Royal Service, whatever. There's definitely something like that going on.
But with this Alfred, played by what's his name, Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
His scar and the fact that we can see his forearm, we can kind of tell that this guy used to do some shit.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And he's not as old as Alfred.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Caine's Alfred, or what was his name? Scar. Jeremy Irons. Jeremy Irons Alfred.
So it kind of explains like this Batman's fighting style, because he's just fighting like a guy who trained himself. You know.
And that's what kind of worries you, because although Christopher Nolan was trying to be as realistic as possible, that ninja stuff kind of gave this free pass to Batman. We kind of know that although he might be cornered, he's not gonna die, or he's not gonna be in trouble. Eventually, he's gonna find his way out, because he's a ninja. But with this Batman, we're not exactly sure how far his training had been. So we still have this feeling that he's vulnerable.
Yeah, and then there's this moment where he escapes the cop house and he turns into a squirrel, basically.
Like a flying squirrel, the flying right? suit thing.
Yeah, and he messes up the landing.
Well, I think it was intended, but it was like almost it was very reckless. Like one mistake and he could have just died in an instant.
That's right. The only time I felt that this Batman was like his like you mentioned will is everything, right? The only time I felt he was invincible was the chase scene with Penguin.
Oh, the car chase.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because that's so funny, because like that's when the man and the car becomes one. And then the funny thing is like I love how they edit that part, because as soon as the car is revealed, no one says a thing, and Penguin goes to the car right away. It's just like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
And I love that sequence when the car starts.
Yeah.
And then everybody just stand there like watching the sound and the light coming from the car. They're kind of in a way mesmerized by the car, and also terrified at the same time.
Yeah.
And the sound that they put in, the engine, the roar. It sounds so sinister. That's what surprised me, because it didn't feel like Justice.
Mad Max.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was like a Ghost Rider or something.
No, it was definitely Mad Max.
Yeah, it's like, answer to your sins, bitch. That's the kind of dialogue I was hearing from the car, although the car was just roaring its engine.
Yeah.
And that light, I think it had this like orange halo, like it was kind of reddish orange light. And
no, I could definitely hear like Mad Max Fury Road theme, like replacing the theme, because it's like it's like otherworldly. But if you think about it, if you actually look at the car, it's also not like a fancy pants car.
Yeah, it's just like a 60s or 70s muscle car that has been tweaked.
No, but like what surprised me was, why doesn't it have like guns and stuff though?
I have no idea, because Batman, remember, he says no guns. That's his rule.
Ben
Affleck, he just lit them up with guns.
I'm gonna be real. Then how are you gonna stop him? You're gonna crash into them. That's usually a fatality.
So I think this is like what's it called? Death-proof. The death-proof car. Yeah. Yeah, the intention of the car is to crash into criminal's car.
No, look at me, man. Like, look, hear me out. Like, I'm not nitpicking here. I love the scene, but there's no way. Like, there's like when Batman rammed his car on Penguin, there was an 85% chance that Penguin would have been sushi. Did you see the shot where he's rolled?
It rolled, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine what would have happened if the Penguin hadn't put on his seatbelt. Yeah. I was quite surprised. It's like, as the car was rolling, he was not bouncing out of the car. I was like, okay, maybe he wore his seatbelt. How responsible of him.
And another beautiful thing about that like scene was like Batman was winging it. Because at the end, where like when Penguin tries to mess up the trucks and stuff, right? There was no way.
There was like an explosion.
Yeah. There was no way Batman could prepare for that ramp.
And also, the ramp was a spontaneous thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. He might as well would have rammed into the trucks.
Yeah, I mean, this Batman is not the smartest tool in the shed. Definitely, like he's becoming that, but there are moments where
he's completely reckless.
Yeah.
And also, like we said, vulnerable. He could have died.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him so scary. And Penguin says it best. You fucking psycho.
I got you. This guy crazy, man.
I got you.
I got you. Look, like Colin Farrell should get like. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna get an Academy Award for it.
But at least he gets nominated for it.
No, because like he's part of the reason why this scene works. Because he's losing his shit because like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, because like remember like couple like hours ago, he's like, "Oh, you the guy, huh? Oh, Mr. Vengeance," and then he's like, "Oh shit, help me, please!"
I mean, he was all for vengeance and justice. I thought he was reasonable.
Yeah,
and I think it's because he realized
that
he's completely off the hooks.
Yeah,
the Penguin felt it that he was unhinged.
Yeah,
Batman is unstable.
Yeah, I mean, when a mob enforcer with a scar and a limp says he's crazy, you get the sense he's crazy. But I love Colin Farrell, where like I loved every scene he was in. Like his jokes, it all worked.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he never loses his cool.
Yeah, and I love the fact after the car chase, like he's captured, right? But it turns out Gordon and basically Batman was being stupid. Not stupid, but they didn't catch the clue.
They were misled, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Penguin gets it. That's not Spanish. URL. It's like, you idiots. You know, the way, it's like Tony Soprano's. Like the way he says it.
So you can't distinguish L and La?
Yeah. And I love the fact that they just leave him there with like, so he has to hop around like a penguin. Hey! Oh, Jesus Christ.
He stole the show every time he was on the screen.
Yeah. I mean, the best villain. I would still put Riddler before him though. Like Riddler was. I mean, there's Carmine Falcone, Riddler, and some miscellaneous villain, but I think Riddler was still incredibly like horrible. Like just you know, he's like that benign evil, like the evil next to you.
Yeah.
You know, because
he looks so ordinary.
Yes.
Yet he's basically a terrorist.
I mean, terrorist. Not only that, he kills people directly. Oh, but there was a part that I did not like though. Like, I did not like the penultimate chapter where things moved along too fast. You know, that part where like Batman gets a bomb, right? But it's Alfred that opens it. I didn't believe that scene because
yeah, like I think you said it. But I think that scene was weak.
Yeah, because like our very first opening scene is Riddler takes the time to kill the senator himself. You know, and every other one is where like he's the kidnapper, even the prosecutor, remember? But suddenly, like for Bruce, I don't know. Maybe you can explain that, you know, he's a recluse, so he doesn't come home, so he doesn't have any option. Then, I mean, dude, you already like kill a lot of people. Why not just get a bazooka and blow up Wayne Tower? You know what I mean? Just the whole building. You could do that. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. But except you send this small bomb with a fire warning on it. Like how did you think that was gonna go? So like that was a weak point for me. Like where like the villain's IQ suddenly drops like 30%.
Yeah, and when it exploded, it wasn't as dramatic as it was, I think, intended for. Remember when Rachel's bomb explodes in The Dark Knight, and that kind of stunned all the audience.
That's huge.
Yeah, that was so shocking because it just exploded without warning, and she was like in the middle of finishing her sentence, and it just explodes, and everybody dies. I mean, not everybody, but Rachel dies. So that put everybody into a shock. But this explosion was like, okay. Yeah. And the fact that Alfred just like tosses it before it explodes. Yeah. I think that kind of killed it. And the fact that it was in a slow motion, I think that also killed the dramatic effect. Yeah. Because in The Dark Knight, there is no slow motion. It just explodes like boom.
I know. I mean, that's a good comparison because, like, it was. I mean, it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the plot has to go, but compared to the other murders that he just committed, that one just suddenly seemed weak. And then, like, I mean, you just
half-assed. I think that's the word I would use. That was kind of a half-assed effort by the Riddler.
Yeah, you just made a video like making fun of Bruce Wayne's like family.
And remember, he had that hamster cage thing going on with the mouse and
So I was kind of expecting a fight between Bruce Wayne and Riddler because Riddler doesn't know he's Batman, but Bruce can defend himself because I was kind of hoping for like like Saw level torture shit going on, because Bruce Wayne is obviously like the most special victim for him. He hates him the most because he's like, you're an orphan, you're not an orphan, you're a special kind of orphan. So there's an order to his killing. And then, so I thought there would be like a crucifix or something. I don't know if I watched too many dark movies, just crucifix with, you know, a ball cutter down there. Very dangerous, very live broadcast. Yeah, because that's what you would do to a billionaire.
Or like gauge his eyes out or...
Yeah, because like there's like, because we kind of know at the end, because of the interrogation scene, that there's definitely some jealousy going on there.
Yeah.
Like incredible jealousy towards Bruce Wayne especially. And, you know, sins of the father and all that. But no, but that was, you know, I kind of understand they had to move it along. But I wish I wish it was something different than that. Yeah.
Too.
Or like have like Bruce Wayne be invited to the you know, the mayoral candidate thing, and their whole terrorist plan is to like kill them together or something. I don't think it had to be there. But that being said, that scene set up the favorite scene in the movie for me, where Riddler and Batman meet for the first time. Right?
Yeah.
And Riddler's like, Bruce Wayne, and then
Batman is shocked, and also he just freezes there because he kind of figures that his cover's been blown by the Riddler.
Yeah,
but we later with his next dialogue, we realized that it wasn't the fact that his cover was blown, but he was just so obsessed with Bruce Wayne that he was keep saying his name.
Yeah, you know, but I'm jumping ahead here, but do you know why I like that scene? Because it actually made this Batman more believable for me, that no one would suspect that he's Bruce Wayne, because his equipment and everything is so fucking poor homemade shit.
That's right.
Like
even the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Remember when in the Dark Knight, I think the Dark Knight Rises, the accountant kind of figures out that the what's it called? What was the name of that thing? The
tumbler.
Yeah, the tumbler. Yeah, the tumbler.
Yeah.
One of those babies.
Yeah.
Had been lying in a warehouse of the Enterprise, and he kind of figures out that Batman is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, because the money is being spent, and he looks at the books, but it's unaccounted for, and it explains the big guy with the rich machine, right? So, I mean, that's actually, you bring up a good point, because, like, I mean, we already just watched the trilogy, and we know it's him, right? But somebody should have guessed when he got on a fucking bat helicopter and fly away the cops, and one detective should have gone, wait, who can afford that stuff?
Yeah, who's the one with the resources to build something like that in Gotham City? It's like, wait a minute, could it be?
Yeah. Who's the contractor that does that? Oh shit, Wayne Enterprise? It can't be, you know? But in this...
Nobody bothers to look it up.
Yeah, but in this movie, the only high-tech shit that ever comes up is that bomb at the end. Like, you know, that where he jumps,
like when he's like jumping off from the dome,
like trying.
And I think also the car. I mean, the car itself is ghetto, but he somehow got that afterburner thing, the jet engine thing in the back of the car. Yeah, I think that's the only high tech thing that he has. But I mean, even, you know, like the Bat logo, it serves as a knife. That's it. No. Oh, and also remember he had a taser at the end of his arm.
I like that a lot. That made a lot of sense.
So
to me.
you can kind of see that all that stuff can be homemade, except for the bat suit being completely bulletproof. I don't know how he pulled that off. But unlike Christopher Nolan, we can see that it's kind of difficult to link all that stuff to Bruce Wayne because it's not as fancy as Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Yeah. But I definitely love... I think this movie is stronger than The Dark Knight in that the antagonist and the protagonist are like mirror images here. I think that's one of the reasons why I love that scene when Batman meets the Riddler for the first time. Yeah. They're standing between a pane of glass. And it's like they're somehow looking into... each other.
Each other. And... Riddler also claims that they're the same. And Batman, he's in a denial, but as an audience, I kind of understand what Riddler is on about, because I see a lot of similarities between the two. They're both crazy.
No, and Riddler is more a sympathetic character than Joker, I think, because like, you know, for in Dark Knight, Joker is almost like a Mephistopheles character. Like he's not human. Like he calls himself the agent of chaos.
I think he represents something more abstract.
Yeah,
he's like evil.
Yeah, agent of chaos. He says it, and then there's this big speech that he gives to. Like there's a similar scene in Dark Knight. Remember on the interrogation scene, but there. I mean, he says, you and I, we're the same. To them, you're just a freak on Dark Knight. But there's a sense that Joker is trying to also deceive Batman in that movie. But in this movie, it's obvious that Riddler's like, yo, buddy! Yo, we did it, yo! What's up? And the Batman's like, you're not my friend. He's like, what?
He goes into like this complete
like
shock and denial. It's like, no. This is not how I pictured this conversation.
Yeah. Like, he's still a child. But the weird thing is, Batman is also still a child.
That's right.
Yeah, he's in denial.
You can kind of see that he's not yet ready to be an adult in real world, in the way that he behaves when he doesn't have his mask on.
Yeah.
He seems so insecure. This is very unlike the Bruce Wayne we see in Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, because when we see Bruce Wayne in that movie, he's kind of fronting. He's trying to be this flamboyant businessman, billionaire, playboy, and he's always like arrogant and confident. But in this Batman, you can see that he's still a boy. Although he's very tall and all grown up, you can kind of still see that he's very insecure about himself. Remember, like when he goes to meet Falcone and he knocks on the door of the club, and he's not even like standing straight with confidence. He's like, he's kind of slouched.
The body language.
The body language says a lot. That
he's like oppressed. Because Batman stands tall. Like Bruce Wayne, there's definitely, I don't know if it's the suit or the way he just carries himself. There's a certain sadness to him, but yeah. I mean, hey, what'd you think about him going to the iceberg lounge like 3 times? There's a joke there, right? When
I kind of found it funny because when he showed up in front of the club as Batman, he had to like beat some people up, fight his way in, and when he showed up completely unarmed as Bruce Wayne, the twins are like, yo, check this out. See? It's Bruce Wayne, yo. And then they just let him in.
Yeah, it's like the way we would act if we saw like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Yo, rich guy, come in, man. Like, these street thugs are immediately. Yeah, I mean
he gets straight to Falcone's room without any resistance.
That's so funny to me. That's so funny to me. Oh, my God. But what? Now we have to bring up Catwoman.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like we've been talking for 30 minutes. We haven't mentioned Catwoman once. Yeah. I think that's kind of unfair. Oh, we did mention that voyeurism.
Yeah.
But Selina Kyle, I don't know. For me, Catwoman, when I hear the name Catwoman, it's always Michelle Pfeiffer.
No, but you know what it is though for me? Like, I think she was underwritten. That's the problem. You know what it is? Because first of all, she's like a plot device, and then suddenly she's like, there's a secret plot where like she's the daughter of Carmine Falcone, right? The mob boss. I think there was just like, it wasn't smooth enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, because I guess that's supposed to parallel like Batman's like revelation.
Discovery of his father.
Like his father.
Like the ugly truth about his father.
Yeah, used the mob to like threaten a journalist. That didn't go his way. They killed him. And then his mother also used to be in a psych ward. But like I felt like we are with Batman for such a longer time than Catwoman, that I loved her scenes, but there was just like near the 2-hour mark, there was just a sudden rush to end that storyline so quickly.
And I think it was a little over dramatic in a sense. But what the touch I liked was how deceiving Falcone was.
Oh yeah,
I like that recording. Oh, I think that was pretty genius. And I loved how they foreshadowed this through Catwoman mentioning to Batman that her mother was choked to death.
I mean, that was like one of those things where, you know, I think it's Quantum of Solace, where the bad guy just looks like a normal guy. Like, it was like that. Because, I mean, yeah, he's a mob boss, but you got to remember, everybody else is dressed crazy. You're a Catborg and all that. But Falcone is just like a conventional villain. But, like, his action is, in a way, the most heinous. You know, and then he tries to choke Catwoman.
His own daughter.
Yeah.
And then he says it himself.
I mean, but he died quickly, and because that's why like that plot became a like. I think the movie itself kind of underwhelmed it because we know like a big finale is coming. We know it's just a sideshow. Like, but I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's not the best part of the movie. I feel.
I also kind of like the fact that Catwoman was in a way similar, but also very different from Batman, because throughout the dialogues we see the difference in their perspective towards Gotham City. She says that it cannot be fixed, and she just kind of gives up, and she just looks after herself. Selina Kyle in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight Rises also said something similar, but it was not as clear, because she says, I think they were trying to sound too fancy with the dialogue. You know, when they're having that masquerade, and Selina Kyle says, you know, after the storm's over, a storm's gone, and blah 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 blah. But this was a lot crystal clear.
Yeah, and I love the scene because I mean, if they added 30 minutes and there's a lot of Catwoman portion, I thought it would be more convincing. But I love the scene at the end where they're riding.
Oh, they're riding on their motorcycle.
Yeah, but they split off. I mean, she's going to somewhere else.
He's going back to Gotham.
Yeah, and then he's going back to Gotham. But there's a clear line, you know, because in the comic, remember, like, Catwoman and Batman are always a thing, but the thing about Catwoman is she's ambiguous. Is she bad or good? But I love where this isn't just like a romantic thing. I mean, they kiss and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to Gotham," because she looks at that light and, "Yeah, you're married to that city. Go on, champion." And she goes her own way. I love that scene though.
I love the fact that the Batman was looking through his mirror, to see her disappearing. Over the horizon. I think he was, in a way, heartbroken that although he wants to go with her, but he has found his resolve. He needs to save Gotham City.
That's the beauty of this movie, because because the other movies, like, I think Batman's feelings towards Gotham in the other movies are just too given. Like, it's assumed that he wants to save Gotham. He loves City. But here, because of after the Riddler, like pseudo Riddler, like terrorist attack, there's a sense that like Bruce is finally learning to love the city, care for the city, not just act as like a evil harbinger roaming the night, but there's this love for the city that feels totally earned. Because he just saved the kid, and
that's right.
Yeah, you know, African American mayoral candidate. Congratulations, hope, and put it in. Like, there was definitely that. It was beautifully done. It was beautifully done.
I think that's a good point. That his love for Gotham was somewhat given in previous movies.
Yeah, because because in Nolan's movie, Gotham is always a target. Either to be saved or destroyed, because Ra's al Ghul's like, "This city must burn." You fuck, and then oh, Bane, this city is a cesspool, burn. And then Joker's like, "This is my toy." I mean, like, of course, like, Nolan's inspiration is different because it's kind of like a Michael Mann, like, Chicago thing going on. But
also the way he shoots.
Yeah, because here, after the flood is done, there's this whole, like, the first ever scene of Gotham, I think, like, in The Bright, right? Except the funeral scene.
That's true.
Yeah,
because throughout the movie, up until that point, the movie had always been showing Gotham at night.
Yeah, and then after Batman brings up the torch, and then boom, and then, like, there's a helicopters, and Batman is just standing there, very dirty, in the daylight. There's this beautiful scene where it's also about him finding his inner peace, I guess. But it's not over, because we still have questions about the parent thing, like Arkham. I don't remember, like, his mother actually being like the Arkham family.
Yeah, I thought that was also an intriguing point in this movie when they kind of describe the history of the Waynes and the Arkhams.
Oh, this movie, I wouldn't say it's better than Nolan's trilogy, but this movie blows away Nolan trilogy in, like, explaining story like not as exposition dialogue. You know what I mean? It's just like blended really well, where it's Riddler talking or him talking. There's no part where Alfred just suddenly goes, "Everybody stop! Every audience stop! Look at me! Let me tell you what's going on." Okay,
you have to learn this first before we carry on.
There's nothing like that. It just kind of like flows really well. Because in Dark Knight, remember, you're like, Morgan Freeman's like, "This is what it's work, how it's work, and how it's done." And Bane is, "I'm going to burn the city." And then there's this whole like this explanation that in hindsight, when you're watching the movie first time, it's fine. You want to know what's going on because it can be complicated. But like here, like there's nothing like. Almost nothing like that.
It's just weaved so well into the story.
Yeah. I mean, like, I love the fact that there's no, like, in the beginning, after Batman's monologue, there's nowhere, like, Gordon goes, "Remember when we first met, motherfucker?" There's nothing like that. They're just like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I only trust you.
Yeah, we just gotta presume that they've done some work together and they've somehow found a way to trust each other.
Yeah. I mean, because, like, you can tell Gordon has mixed feelings about Batman, though. The reason why he trusts him is that he's a man dressed as a bat fighting at night. I think that's the reason why he trusts him. Like, the cops are dirty, and like there's that really good, like, whatever, we're gonna drive through. I'm not gonna sit you down and tell you what's going on. You're just gonna know it. And
in this movie, I love the interactions with the police and the Batman.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Batman has with the police.
Yeah.
Remember when he was he had gone back to Riddler's house.
Yeah.
And then he's going through the evidence. What's his name? Martinez, the cop. He's like, "Hey, you can't do that." And Batman just quietly stares at him for like 4 seconds, and he's like, "Okay."
Yeah, that was so convincing, man. Like, and the beauty of that scene is also because I think part of it is that the cops are finally realizing that he's an ally. There's acceptance that, oh well, you're part of the team. You know, it's like a sports team mascot that can actually fight. You know how in like football there's either a duck or whatever, but this guy could just gonna jump on the field and help the quarterback. "I'll catch it for you," and then throw. They all know that he got their back. So because that comes near the end before the final scene.
That's right. We see in the beginning how much he's hated and how much they antagonize the Batman.
But I did like. What did you think about the detective angle? I liked it, but I didn't feel like this was still like a big detective movie though.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting take. A lot of people compared it to, and I also do. They compared it to Seven.
Yeah.
What's his name? David Fincher.
David Fincher. Seven.
Yeah, David Fincher's Seven. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. It kind of felt like that police detective duo cop thriller thing. It had a lot of that vibe. But I think it was an interesting departure from its original usual format.
And I would say this movie is by far the most comic book looking movie.
That's
you
true.
mentioned watching it, like out of all the Batman movies, and then that was just beautiful about it. But I would not call it a masterpiece, though.
I agree.
I think I felt like it could be like 30 minutes longer, to be honest, like especially at the near end part, or it could have been shorter, because there are parts where, I mean, it's beautifully shot, but there are parts, especially after the 1 hour and 30, like I feel like the first hour and 30 minute was a perfect movie. I couldn't get enough. I was just like, holy shit. Like, if the ending scene was Falcone suddenly coming out of the garage and saying, "Sit down, Bruce," and then it ends, and then next summer, I would have been okay. But there was this huge ambition to get these like so many divergent plot lines together. I mean,
to accomplish all that. Like you said, the movie did not have enough time. They needed to invest more time in it. So if they didn't have enough time, they should have somehow abridged all these divergent storylines.
I'm nitpicking here, by the way. I mean, because I love the fact that the mob is near the shore. And you know that scene where they're like moving the drug? It looked like such a comic book scene where there's a frame and there's a box that Batman is watching with ... saying, "The mob is here." And then, like, you know, you can just imagine him jumping in there. But I also felt like I wanted to know more about like the ecosystem here. Like Iceberg Lounge. Iceberg is obviously like a it's like a Penguin reference. And then is it 44 under? Because like that's also a Penguin reference, by the way. I love how like how do they work? You know, what are they going on? And they serve as great plot devices, but it was just like I could have had more for it. Like I could have like asked more. I
agree. And another thing I liked about the movie is how they portrayed Gotham. Because in Nolan's trilogy, Gotham, it's a city, but it's very relatable, and it's a functioning city with some corruption, and there's some bad guys running around, and Batman's got to catch them. That's the kind of feeling I had towards Gotham. But in this one, we can kind of tell that Gotham is under so much corruption that you have, I mean, if you have the power to make change, you really need to consider starting all over. Because we can kind of see the systematic corruption throughout the entire city. Remember when Catwoman puts that cool contact lens camera thing?
Oh, that scene was awesome.
Yeah, and she goes in the club and she meets this DA, and like you can tell that Gotham is corrupt throughout the entire layer. There's the Justice Department, the Executive Department, the cops, the DA. They're all hanging out in a mob bar. So it gives the feeling that Gotham is in a way completely hopeless, and it's such a big fight for Batman.
Yeah, it takes a guy with a black mascara on to fucking fight him, right? Because I love that he had the mascara on.
I was kind of wondering what was that about. It's like, was it to like supplement his anonymity when he puts the
that's what it is for. Yeah, that's what it is for. But I because Nolan's Batman, Christian Bale had that too.
Oh really?
Yeah, he had that black like on after that. Because you can't cut it off to exactly your eyes. So you have to open it. But what's so funny is like when he's like in front of the computer without he has the mascara on, and that was that was a good detail movie. I think with the way Pattinson acted sold that scene because he's just so focused. He's like. You just imagine like a clown makeup Justice Warrior, because that makes sense. Because we already like in the Nolan movie, we already had a guy who does his own makeup and is a crazy fucker, and no one complains about that.
That's true.
But it kind of makes sense that Batman would also put on his own makeup before he wears the Batsuit and go fight crime.
I think it would have been a little more brilliant if they actually put in like a sequence where he puts that makeup on.
Oh my god,
that would give a lot of Joker vibe on Batman. People would kind of feel creeped out. Oh my god, this guy's also one of them. He's crazy himself.
Yeah, but Joaquin Phoenix's was rated R. This one is definitely PG-13. Because like when I watched the trailer, I was kind of worried that, oh my god, is this the most violent Batman ever? But no, like there's no blood. Like remember the last scene when those pseudo Riddlers like shoot the mayor? Yo. That's supposed to go clean through, isn't it? But she just, and then she wakes up, and then she's okay walking through the water.
Oh, and that scene when he was like jumping out of the dome after that explosion, that was pretty epic, that scene. That was some straight up comic book style.
No, I gotta be honest, man. Like, that scene, that was funny to me because as soon as Batman landed, I thought he was gonna break his ankle. Like, how you do that? Like, did he have a cable at his back? I have to watch it again, but I was just shocked because you gotta remember he just jumped out of the cop house with a squirrel shirt on, and then he almost killed himself. Yeah, I thought he was gonna crack his ankle. Oh shit!
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah,
and these terrorists like, what the fuck? And they just shoot him dead.
No. And I just wanted to tell the terrorists with the shotgun, like, yo, aim for the head. Why did you just body shot him? He has Kevlar on. So like I'm nitpicking here, but like if we're gonna go brutal, I was kind of like I didn't see any like protective thing on that suit. Because in The Dark Knight, there's this beautiful scene where Morgan Freeman like explains the suit, right? I mean, it's kind of like bullshit science shit, but it's kind of there to tell that this suit
it's like soft fabric.
Christian Bale's not gonna die. Don't worry, man.
Electricity, it kind of stiffens up, acts as a wing, and blah 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 blah.
The only guy that can beat you is a guy on steroids. The other guns are fine, missiles are fine, but a guy on steroids and dogs will kill you. But here, there's this like you could tell like he's about to get fucked. But there were just like small details like that.
And also the scene where he
injects
adrenaline in himself, and he beats the crap out of that shooter. Yeah, that was also kind of creepy because we also see that, oh my god, Batman needs therapy. He really needs therapy. This guy has issues.
Yeah, he's pushing himself to the limit, isn't he? Like, because he's doing that to save Catwoman.
Yeah, but he went a little too far. It's like, okay, this is no longer about Catwoman. There's something else going on. He's got anger management issues here.
No, but the beauty about that scene was when the guy gets unmasked, he says, "I'm vengeance," right? He's the guy at the funeral who was talking about, fuck the rich guys, and the Bruce Wayne. But right afterwards, like, Batman jumps and cuts the cable because
it was about to electrocute people.
Yeah, that scene was beautiful. Like I love that scene because prior to that we actually never see Batman save people. All we see him is like beat up criminals or scared them to death. Like, you're giving them PTSD, by the way. But like here, it's like it's not a violent act. I mean, it's a sacrificial act.
Something selfless.
Yeah, because before that. I don't think so. I don't think we see Batman save people. Because in Nolan's, he's saving, like, from Batman Begins, from the start, he's saving people. You know that? He's always rescuing people. But here, it's more about his revenge need. So, but that was, I think, like a good character developing mode. Where I'm so glad that they didn't oversell the Jesus Christ thing. Like, because you drop on water and you are reborn, right? I was so glad that they didn't oversell that. Like,
I think Zack Snyder would have done that. It's like he falls into water in slow motion.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
And then there's like this underwater shot of Batman like drowning, and then somebody like pulls him out of the water in slow mo and do CPR with this music. I'm glad that they didn't do it.
Yeah, but I think you mentioned this, but like slow-mo is used really well in this one. Because I think the only one I remember, to be honest, is the one when the prosecutor, he explodes. Like, there's this moment where it's slow-mo and Batman like gets kicked back, right? In the funeral scene.
I was surprised that Batman was not willing to find himself cover until the time expires.
Because that was like, I think that was because there was a chance he could save him.
And I think it's after watching the explosion, I was thinking, okay, maybe he was confident that his suit was going to keep him protected. Because remember, when it's about to explode, he covers his face with his arms.
Yeah. There are details. Another detail I loved. Let's get back to that scene. Like the way he looks at the kid. You know, that senator's kid. It's just like he's looking at himself, right?
Yeah. And I'm also glad that they didn't overdo this because I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder, but I'm pretty sure he would have like made this flashback of the young Bruce Wayne like witnessing his parents' murder, and and then the screen switches back to the little kid. Yeah, I'm glad that they didn't do it. It was subtle.
Like him looking at the kid is basically replacing that theme because the only reason why that scene works is because we as an audience already know that you were once that kid. So it's definitely like where Matt Reeves is going like, hey, you know all this. Let's just jump ahead and do something else. And then I think that's beautiful.
Oh, and I think another thing that intrigued me was when, remember the DA with this explosive around his neck at the funeral? He was on the verge of telling Batman what he needed to know, but as soon as he knew that what he needed to say was going to put his family in danger, he instead kind of chooses to die. Yeah, I think that also kind of showed how corrupt and how heavy this entire corruption thing is.
No, but like looking back, like now that we done watch the movie, now we know why, because he can't say Carmine Falcone, because he was supposed to say Carmine Falcone was the rat, but it's like Departed where the boss is the rat, so you can't rat the boss. So like looking back, that was a good scene because but it would have worked, I think, more if there wasn't a Riddler and we were like the main boss was Carmine Falcone or something. But Carmine Falcone was always that big device to the Riddler. So I mean, I love that scene, but I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think it's time to wrap it up and give this movie a rating.
Oh, before that, one more thing.
We need to explain how the rating system works. Okay. You have something else to explain?
We forgot to talk about the Joker.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
At the end, we see Joker locked up in Arkham, and he's sharing like the cell right next to the Riddler.
Yeah, he's like becoming a friend, right? Mm-hmm. And then, I honestly didn't like it too much. I mean, like I think we said privately, I understand why Joker is there, because maybe he's in the second movie, right? But I think every Batman director wants to do the Joker thing, like because it's like the most like famous Batman villain, whatever. But I was hoping for an even crazier like end credit scene. I don't know if I'm spoiled by Marvel, but after that, like the end where it says goodbye, I didn't kind of get it. I think it was kind of open ended. But I love the Joker actor. He's the guy in Eternals. He's the guy that plays the mind control guy.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah. The best part about Eternals, that's that guy. He's a great actor. Yeah. He has this very like, he's like Michael Fassbender, like neutral face. He can play evil roles. But I don't know. Like, but if that's a hint that we're gonna have a scene where, because we never had a scene where Batman has to go inside Arkham and fight the crazy inmates, right? That would be awesome. Like Crocodile Man comes up. You know what I mean? And what's that guy's name? Sunday, Monday, Bundy. There's this like crazy like a zombie Hulk character that I can't remember, but he comes out and they're all trying to kill Batman. That would be awesome though. Like if there's like, because I think they mentioned Arkham for that reason, right? Your mother used to be Arkham, so the second movie can be another detective series where like he tries to find out about the Arkham family, and we can go to Arkham, and that would be awesome though.
Anyways, now that you mentioned the mother, I think it's also kind of foreshadowing, and it's hinting of Batman's psychological condition. You think that it might be running in his blood?
Oh man! Oh, that's. I never thought of it that way.
Now that I think about it, the mother was in a psych ward, which means there's a high chance that genetically that Bruce Wayne might also go crazy eventually.
There's an inheritance thing going on besides the wealth. There's this disease that could be interesting. I think, isn't that what Peacemaker is going for? That's what true. Peacemaker is going for, right? In a more like funny, even darker way. But I wouldn't mind that at all because the best villains in Batman is always the mindfucker guys, right?
That's right.
Yeah, they're always mindfucking you. They're
the masterminds.
Yeah, because Bane is trying to mindfuck you. You're not worth the city. Fuck you. I mean, Joker is obviously mindfucking you. I mean, Ra's al Ghul is obviously trying to mindfuck you too. You're part of our ninja psycho cult. Let's kill this city. Fuck you weekly. There's that shit going on. So like, yeah, I mean, that would be interesting. But I would like, now that we bring up Joker, like there is the issue of like realism though. Because what's impressive about this movie is that, yeah, there are logic jumping scenes, but overall, it's very, very realistic. Like, there's no cartoonish death moments. Everything seems plausible.
And the weapons as well.
Yeah.
Batman, a lot of time, he uses his brute force to get what he wants.
Oh, and maybe Penguin and Joker can team up. That would be awesome, too. I don't think I've ever seen that in a movie, but if that happens in a movie, that would be awesome. Like, because...
But I gotta say that end scene with the Joker didn't really hype me up. It was just, okay. So maybe they're hinting Joker. So maybe in the next the next movie, they're gonna have Joker as the villain. He's somehow gonna escape from Arkham, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, because we had too many Jokers, right?
Yeah,
we got Joaquin Phoenix, Jay Leno, and
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I mean. I miss
Jack Nicholson,
Mr. Freeze now. Like, it's time to freeze, and then that would be awesome, though. That would be awesome. Because in the comic books, like there's Poison Ivy. I love Poison Ivy as a character, but that's gonna be really hard for a movie. But I don't know. Maybe given this movie, I wouldn't mind having Joker as one of the villains, like if it's portrayed right. But who knows. But anyway, you mentioned our grading system.
Yeah. So since our show is called JoeJinMovieSoAwesome, our grading system will be either awesome or garbage.
No, it'll be so awesome and pure garbage.
Oh no, pure awesomeness. So at the extreme ends, there's going to be pure awesomeness. The worst of the worst will be called pure garbage.
Garbage?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this one, I wouldn't say it's so awesome or purely awesome, but I would say it's awesome.
Yeah.
I would definitely say it's awesome.
I would give it an awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was 3 hours long. I was bored for about 10 minutes of it. The rest was fine. Like, it was just really well done.
And every scene where Batman shows up in front of the villains, I really like the way they set Batman up. It gave this very dramatic effect that we kind of feel that some shit's gonna go down very soon. And that car scene, like the moment the car starts and the moment Penguin's car flips in the midair, every single second of that sequence was awesome.
Yeah, story, plot, cinematography, just everything. It did not feel redundant. Because a Batman movie needs to persuade us that this movie was needed. Just like Superman, right?
That's right.
And this movie felt wholly new. I mean, it definitely owes a lot of depth to the movies that came prior. But it definitely felt like Matt Reeves put a big giant stamp on here. Boom! Remember, I saved the planet of the series. I made 2 of those trilogies, man. This is mine. Boom! And then it succeeded. So it was awesome.
So I would look forward to the next movies in the series.
Anyway, so both of us gave awesome grades. Thank you, our subscribers, 5 people. Your loyalty means everything to us. And we will come up. We'll watch a movie. If you have any movies or dramas you like us to review,
leave it in the comments, please.
Leave, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.